Hi, I'm Cordelia. I'm a concert pianist with two small boys and very little time. So this is the second episode in a series of methods and ideas for great quality piano practice when you only have 20 minutes. Today I'm going to show you how I get to grips with a new piece and start to understand the music's structure. This is the most important and helpful tip that I can give for a musical and convincing performance. I've had quite a few requests for how to understand the overall shape of a piece of music and how to fit all the passages together. This seems like kind of a big task, but actually you can easily start to address this in a short practice session. If you enjoy this video, then I hope you'll give it a thumbs up below and subscribe for more ideas. So when you play or perform a piece, you should have a really strong awareness at all times of the shape or the journey that you are making through the piece of music, where it's leading and where each bit fits in. Otherwise, it's going to just sound like lots of separate bits stuck together without a compelling sweep through the movement. We can find really good clues this way for how to play the music, like if the main theme comes back, is it the same or is it transformed? And if so, how is it transformed? What does that mean for how you should play it? What is the emotional function of the coda, or how does each section contribute to the whole? These are all questions that you can really easily answer or start to answer by looking at the shape and structure in the music. Oops. Secondly, really knowing where the sections are in your brain as well as in your fingers will help you to learn the music securely and to memorise it if you want to. Lastly, and possibly most usefully, it makes practice sessions much easier in the future. So by marking up the score into these manageable chunks, the way that I'm going to show you, it means you've got a ready-made practice plan, and each day you can just choose a longer or a shorter section which needs work in a certain way and with certain techniques. I do this for all new pieces. Every single score that I've studied has these structural markings on it, no matter how long or short the piece and how complex or simple it might be. Because it helps me to organise my practice strategy, I do it straight away first thing, maybe after just an initial playthrough for fun. But before I start working on any of the details or note learning or technique or anything like that. I'm going to take you through the steps of this process, and we're actually going to go through it together for a new piece I've just decided to learn, which is Scriabin's First Sonata, specifically the third movement. And at the end of the video, I will go through the same process for a slightly simpler piece, which is Schumann's Romance in F sharp major. I ran out of time, so this is me the next day. The first thing that you want to be looking for and marking in is the sections of music. So this is like the musical paragraphs. They'll probably be obvious by important harmonic changes, like maybe if it moves to the dominant, for example, or maybe if the style of music changes noticeably. So these are usually like half a page, maybe 12 bars, something like that. Once you've got those, you could also divide them up into phrases, which are kind of like the musical sentences. So these are usually, I don't know, between 2 and 6 bars, something like that. And you'll have a couple or 3 sentences within each phrase. And I mark those in with a phrase mark to show where it starts. Then you can look for where the themes come back. So if there's theme 1 and theme 2, for example, you will mark in each time these recur, and also, really importantly, if there are any differences when they come back. So for example, if the melody is slightly changed, if there are different ornamentation, or maybe a different left-hand figuration, something like that. So I always circle, or sometimes I will put in a sort of square bracket to show where it starts being different. Then you can look for the climax. It will be something surprising harmonically, so a very far away key or very loud, but just mark it in because it's interesting to find where the build-up starts to the climax. Try and work out then where the resolution is and mark that in. And then the last thing that you can do is have a think about the musical form. So Is it A, B, A, for example, or is it a recurring theme like in a rondo where the first theme keeps coming back with different things in between, or is it traditional sonata form? So all of this stuff, mark it in. Okay, so this is definitely a contrasting section, but I wouldn't say that it was a middle section because it's too short and it still has the left-hand figuration with the octaves. This time it has a new left-hand pattern, so I'm paying attention to that. I'm going to mark it in. Now I can see that the harmony is different this time that the theme comes, so I'm going to mark in my square bracket so that I notice where it starts to change. Okay, now I'm confident that we're into the middle section because the harmony has changed. We're in A flat major now. It's pianissimo, it's a totally different feel. And I can see a new theme, so I'm going to write in theme 2. This takes us through the whole page actually, this new theme. Here we have theme 2 again, but in octave. It's a kind of accumulation of the emotion of this middle section. Now we have a recap. So the first theme has come back. Again, there's a different left-hand figuration. That looks really tricky. So, yeah. And then we have this chordal passage again, but it's in a different key. Second subject again, also different harmonies. I need to be really careful when performing that I don't go back to the beginning version. I'm going to get stuck in a loop, which I don't want to happen. Now I think we're coming to the major climax because theme 1 is coming back, but it's in a different key, B flat minor. It's leading to D flat 7 harmony, so I'm pretty confident that that's my climax. It just kind of drops away and we're back into F minor suddenly. So that's quite interesting. I'm going to be thinking about how to bring that off. So that was a lot of red pencil. Hopefully by the time you've done that, you should have some nice chunks that you could easily work on each day. But just remember not to only practice in sections, because we also need to work on the joins and the overall shape. So a sample practice plan could look something like this. First, you work on your individual chunks, each technique that you need to practice, getting that chunk exactly how you want it. Then start joining the chunks together, changing up each day which chunks you're joining. Then you'll be gradually working in larger sections. So for example, your A section, which might be like a page, like in the Scriabin, and then another day you work on your B section, and then the next day you work on, for example, the coda. And then once you've got those feeling quite nice, then you can work on building up to the whole shape in one. If you'd like to receive more practice methods, you can subscribe below and click on the bell for new videos. I would also really love to know in the comments if this works for you, if it's helpful, or any requests for future videos. And as promised, here is another example of structural work, Schumann's Romance.